Good morning again, guys. Okay, had a few people ask what I know about what's going on over in Israel with the shellings and everything like that. So thought I'd kind of give you the update. I've been keeping an eye on this, but it's not. I don't want to say it's not serious. I mean, it's serious. Obviously, sending rockets and mortars into cities is serious, but it's nothing really new. It's not end of times and World War and all the hyper sensationalism that some people want to bring into it. I mean, it's the Middle East, okay? This is nothing new. This has been going on for thousands of years with them fighting amongst each other. And, ever since Israel became a state after World War II. Okay. But still important to pay attention to because we know Iran is over there looming in the distance, and, Iran and Israel aren't exactly friendly. So let's put it that way. So just to give you a little bit of time frame, okay, clock time. The Israel is 7 hours ahead of us. Now I'm recording this video at about 10:30 here on Tuesday morning. So that's about 5:30 in the afternoon, Tuesday afternoon over in Israel. Okay. So just giving you that idea, but this is kind of what's been going on today. And we saw what happened yesterday. There was some shelling back and forth, if you will, or, between Hamas and between Israel. So if you go back to this morning, 9:30 Israeli time, which is 2:30 in the morning for us, at least on the East Coast. Okay. The Israeli army had sent off a bunch more airstrikes on the Gaza Strip and supposedly had said they hit about 130 targets in response to the rockets that had been fired into Israel by Hamas overnight. Okay. Hamas launched dozens of rockets from Gaza because they were warning Israel to stop the violence, supposedly, okay, against Palestinian worshippers at the Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem. Okay, and just to give you an idea, both sides are consider the mosque there. I don't want to say holy ground, but very important to them. All right, so with this shelling that Israel had, air raids, if you will, on Gaza. Supposedly, according to the Gaza Health Ministry, that there were 24 deaths, including some kids, a couple elderly women. So, again, them sensationalizing again, oh, they're attacking civilians, whatever it would be. All right. So, as you kind of move on through the day, all right, so then, of course, you start getting the condemnation from the rest of the world, from the Arab League, from the UK, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Of course, we have to have not somebody I have any respect for, Amnesty International, coming in and saying, oh, it's unwanted, excessive force and everything like that. Okay, I'm sorry, but if Hamas is going to shell Israel, Israel's got a right to respond. I'm sorry. You can say whatever you want. They're not supposed to lay down and take it. Okay. So, my respect for Amnesty International is about the same respect I have for dog shit on the bottom of my shoe. But so as we get in a little bit more, there were some more air raids. This again was about 5 hours ago. So 5:30 our time. You had a couple more people killed in more airstrikes. But then where it got interesting is the Israeli military had mobilized thousands of troops, okay, to reinforce defense near Gaza. So now you're starting to get, if you will, face-to-face confrontation. I mean, not that you have two guys standing on opposite sides of the fence, but to keep people from coming over the fence. Because, I hate to tell you this, guys, but walls do work. So throw that in there. Now, response that we get from Hamas, and this is now about 3 hours ago, so say 7:30 our time. Hamas now launches about 70 rockets into Israel. So what you got is air raids and rockets going back and forth. So, this is getting a little hot over there. It winds up very tense, I guess, for lack of a word, because with this rocket fire, now you've got a couple of women that were killed in Israel by the Hamas rocket fire. Gaza, the Hamas is saying, or the Gaza health minister is saying that the death toll from last night has now risen to 26. So, Netanyahu is coming in and saying they're going to keep doing more and more, which gets scary because, like I said, now, damn well you've got Iran sitting there watching in the back. And, as soon as Iran starts saying, what, this might be a good time to go in there. So we're going back and forth. Just before I put up this video, news came out that Israel went back with more air raids, at least 14 more. So, there's video up on this whole 9 yards of what's going on. So this is definitely moving as we speak, but something to pay attention to. The tensions, again, are heating up between Hamas and Israel, the West Bank, the Palestinians, and everything of the sort there, But, like I said, I'm not going into this end of times, World War III crap that, you have some channels that are talking about, saying this is the beginning of everything. It's still the Middle East. It's still the Arab community against the Israelis. This is nothing new, and we hear this all the time. But, a few of you guys have asked me to mention this, to talk a little bit about it. At this point, I'm not concerned with it at all. There's been zero talk about the U.S. getting involved. I mean, even troops that we've got in the Middle East, no talk whatsoever. Again, we know the 46 administration, following in, the footsteps of the 44 administration, is no friend to Israel, which is pretty much the stupidest foreign policy that you could ever possibly have. But then again, we pretty much have the stupidest president in the White House that you could possibly have. So, just following in the footsteps of the previous stupidest president that you could possibly have, i.e. 44. So don't get overly worried about this at this point, guys. It's nothing that we have to concern ourselves with as preppers, as Americans, as Europeans, as Australians, as wherever you live. Okay, this is not a critical issue. Something to watch, of course. Like I said, the key here is to see if Iran gets involved at all. Then all bets are off. The tables have completely turned. But as long as this is your little terrorist organization in Hamas going after Israel, it's same shit, different day in the Middle East. So just wanted to put that out there because a bunch of you guys have asked. Don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. Ignore the end of times crap. And have a good afternoon. If anything does change, I'll be back. Have a good one. Pinball out.